Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I am just finished doing some stuff, and now I'm gonna go and run some errands. And I want to touch bases. I really want to do more stuff on Anubis, but it seems to be a lot of interest in that. You know, the dog-headed people. And I really do believe that they did actually exist in the world. So, but anyway, what I wanted to talk about today is something that Willie D brought to my mind. Let me tell you, during coronavirus, it is such a good time to get your house in order. Oh, look at my boobie. It looks good, don't it, honey? Believe me, I used to be the president of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee, okay? And now that I'm old, I'm an old lady, and I just don't give a what? Everything is changing, yo. I'm finally getting a chance to be myself. Life is not perfect, but things are good, baby. Things are good. Now, some folks say that this happens, you just blossom when you get touched the right way. Yes. When a man really loves a woman and she loves him right back, ow, stuff be happening. You know how it is when you with a man, a real man, and he got that testosterone, honey, that just, ooh, when you hear his voice, it's just, and let me tell you, it took my whole life. And I didn't recognize it until I started working with the Seahawks. Child, those men scared me because I wasn't used to pheromones like that. I mean, they got some real men. And I guess it's the same way being around a real woman. When a man is around a real woman, he just feel that, you know. And a lot of times, I remember certain women saying to me, I just don't understand what it is that men see in you, you know, because she didn't have that. And the reason why she didn't have that, well, that's another video. But she wasn't a real woman. And a real man knows a real woman like a real woman knows a real man. And I am très féminique, honey, feminine, honey, very much so. A friend of mine, well, a lot of my friends have always called me pretty, you know, for a nickname. Hey, pretty, you know. But now that I'm older, they're calling me like lady. And the young people today, ow! Sorry about that, y'all. The young people today that I was mentoring call me like ma'am, and it's just very respectful. It's a brand new day in my life where all the BS is gone, honey. And it's just like what they say, when you get tired and you start loving yourself and you start raising your standards for yourself, what you will accept, your life will change. And I never really thought, let me tell you something, I should have made this decision in my teenage years, very early. But the reason why I wasn't able to do that is because I lived amongst a bunch of hell. and around people who were less than they ought to be. It was a proving ground for me. I'll say that. Excuse me. Then when I met other family members, they were just as weak. That's what it is. That lack of females who lack that estrogen, that thing that makes you a lady, is weak. Their estrogen levels are weak. Their woman intuition weak. They're in the same way with the men. I grew up with a lot of weak women and weak men. And I've always known that. I even said it, I was down in Texas and an experience happened to me and I was like, oh, I'm disgusted by the weakness. It's just like anything that you have that is weak, whether it be tea or coffee, is watered down. It's very, very frustrating when you get that full bodied flavor and taste of coffee, the aroma, the texture, the color, the consistency. It's good. And so that's what I wanted to, that kind of segues. Look at all of this here stuff. It's like it's snow, but it's not. It's oh my God, it's just horrible. I don't know if y'all can see it it's along that curb. It's white, fluffy stuff. It's pollen. It's hay fever time up here. We get a lot of flowers, but we also get a lot of pollen, a lot of spiders, a lot of bees. It's crazy out here, man. So that's where getting back to excuse me, y'all. But getting back to what I was saying about, COVID-19, Willie D. There I am, back on subject. Willie D was saying that a lot of people are getting separated and divorced right now. Excuse me. Well, it's long overdue because they weren't supposed to be together anyway. They don't like each other and they don't like themselves. But a lot of times people are together. It's a fake relationship, a public relationship. But their real relationships, their real private thing that they got going on, they keeping that secret. But when you're under quarantine, all that little stuff, baby, it comes out. Amen. Hallelujah. God is good. I'm telling you, this coronavirus is such a blessing. It is such a blessing, honey. I talked to my old manager today, baby, and I was just laughing at him. He had me cracking up, baby. I am just giggling my butt off at him. Can you help me? Nope. Click. Nope. Boop. End call. Honey. I talked to another friend of mine. She was like, that ain't none of his business. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, I'm telling you. Today was a good day. I got a lot of work done. Had to redo some stuff. And today was a good day. And like I said, Willie D is looking at these divorces and stuff as a bad thing. I look at it as a good thing. This is time for reclamation, restoration, and reformation. Okay? Yes, honey. Correct all that stuff that was wrong, baby. Now is the time to get on the good foot. Okay? Now is the time to get your ducks in a row that was out of order. Time to straighten that up. And I had to make some changes myself. Ooh, let me tell you, I made some changes. Let me tell you something. Somebody hitting you or whatever, that ain't the only abuse. It's psychological abuse. And then neglect. Neglect is abuse. People not paying you your due respect. People that don't even call, and you call them and they don't return your call and stuff like that. It's trifling. It's petty, and it's abusive. And people don't appreciate you. It's up to you to make that change, honey, because they ain't gonna change. You can't change other people. You can only make changes in yourself. You can only control yourself. That's all you can do in this here world. You hear me? And if you ain't gonna do it, if you ain't gonna change for the betterment of your own sanity and your own happiness, they ain't gonna do it, child. They don't care. They do not care, because if they did care, they would try to make a change. They would say, "I'm sorry about that. I wasn't aware of that," and they would keep that in mind, But you cannot teach a snake how to be a human. You know what I'm saying? If a person is not a decent human being, if you got to spoon feed them and tell them how to treat people, save it, honey. They already been raised or drug up or whatever. This is not a decent person. And I should know, because I wasn't raised properly. I was not. I was in survival mode, baby. In survival mode. And a lot of times in Texas, that's the way that they try to teach you so that you can become self-aware and independent and all that. Child will get you killed. But you are not protected and looked after like you're supposed to by most people in Texas, honey. And the ones who do look after you, they doing it on the sly, because they don't want the other people to know. If you and I've heard other people say, "Oh, this person is soft. This person is soft." What that means is a criminal. These horrible people. If you are being raised up in shark-infested water, you need to know how to deal with sharks. But if you have an opportunity to get the hell away from the sharks and go to where some dolphins are, then that's where you need to do. That's where you need to go. In Texas, it's very hard to do that. It's very hard to do that. It's so many oppressive things in Texas that you cannot get away from. You cannot get away from. They have you pigeonholed, baby. And they just herd you, just like cattle. You gonna get arrested. You gonna pay some tickets. They are not gonna dismiss it. They are not gonna give you a warning. That kind of stuff is the exception. It is not the rule. Again, abuse. Abuse can come from not just a personal relationship. It can come from a job situation. It can also come from the environment in which you live, honey. But like I said, you can't change your environment. You can only change you. Make a decision to look after your own best interests. That's what I can say. And that's how you have to deal with the abuse. If you don't want to deal with something and you don't want to make a change, you're the problem. Because they ain't going to change. If they were going to change, they would already. A lot of people be like, "Oh, I hope this, I hope that." No, honey. They're an asshole. The neighborhood is full of assholes. The state is full of assholes. Either you're an asshole or you're not, or you want to deal with assholes or you don't. It's that simple. If you don't want to deal with it, then you got to make a change. You got to make a change. When I left Texas, I did not cry, not one tear. Do you hear me? Whenever you make a major change, you have to grieve that. It's a process. Getting ready to make the change, and then even after the change has happened, there's that moment of acclimation and grieving for the old place. People call it being homesick or whatever. I have never had that. Honestly, I love Washington, but if I got a job right now in Ukraine, I'd be gone. I'd be gone, honey, because I want to see. I'm here to see, learn, meet new people. I saw this a man today. Ooh, honey, good looking. Good looking. Too young for me. Too young for me, baby. These young people, baby, they do not know. That's why I love mentoring, so I can tell them, maybe, so they can see what I try to do is I try to tell them what it is that I see. You know, when I was their age, we didn't even have the internet, honey. They have the internet and all of this, honey, and just letting it go to waste. Let me roll up my window because the people came out. I want them to hear what I'm saying. Child, let me tell you something. When I was young, we didn't have the internet, baby. By the time the internet came, I had already had my kids. Do you hear me? I had already had my kids, honey. But had I waited, had my kids later on, ooh, wait. Yes, honey. Mama would have been doing a whole different thing. Do you hear me? A whole different thing. And I was working in an office situation so I could take care of my kids. That's why I was working in an office, you know. Back in the day, I was a PBX operator. And the reason why they did that, I believe it had to do with my mom. Oh, sorry, y'all. I believe it had to do with my mom because my auntie, that's what she did. She was a PBX. She was a PBX operator for guest quarters, which was bought by Marriott. And she worked as a PBX operator, not for long, because she fell in a chair and hurt her tailbone, and she never worked after that. She never worked after that. So, I believe that they put me in a PBX position instead of another position had to do with because my mom and my teacher got into a fight. So, but after I got on my own, Pamela, a friend of mine, she was the teller at the bank. Pamela, and here's the thing. I'm gonna give you an example. The way Texas is, I'm in a vocational office education classes. My teacher is not helping me. Her and my mom is getting into fights, and I'm in the cult. The only people that I know who are friends of mine are also in the cult, and even the older girls, they didn't help me at all. Pamela worked at the bank just like I did, and I felt some kind of a way because everybody at school was wearing Jordashes and Gucci loafers and Gucci belts and all this kind of stuff, Attabead necklaces, and I'm sitting up there wearing church clothes because I got to go to work half the day. Half the day I go to class, the other half of the day I go to work. None of the other girls were associated with me from the VOE class because they were all working at NASA. I was the only one that was working as a PBX operator. Everybody else was in the typing pool at NASA. My teacher didn't want to send me there because of the way that I looked. All the other girls in my class, every last one of them was short, dumpy girls. And at the time, I was 5'2", and I was 75 pounds. That was me. And my teacher did not want to send me to NASA. So what I would do is I would go to class half the day, and then the rest of the half of the day I would go home because I didn't have a job. And so my mom didn't like that. She wanted me to have a job. So I would get out of my classes, and the other girls, because they would send a bus to the school to pick the girls up at the school and take them over to NASA in Clear Lake. And I would catch the city bus home because there wasn't nothing else for me to do. I was in a vocational office education class, but I didn't have a job. It was my teacher's job to get me a job. She didn't want to get me one. So, like I said, I ended up being a PBX operator, Dr. Center Bank. And like I said, I didn't have no really help. I went to work. I'm in the back in the bank. Nobody can see me. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm being hidden away. I'm not there as a teller. I'm not there doing customer accounts or anything like that. I'm back in the back of the bank by the proof operator. Okay. So I'm back behind a wall. I'm answering the phone. Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Dr. Center Bank. This is Kalitha. How can I help you? Or who would you like to speak to? And they would tell me, and I would transfer to that extension. That's what I did, for half of the day. And again, I had to go on the city bus. So I had to have bus fare and all that kind of stuff. My first week at work and stuff like that. I didn't have no bus fare. Luckily for me, the Metro bus drivers just let me get on till I could get my first check. Let me tell you something. Long story short, abuse is abuse. People are going to put you through unnecessary bull because they think they can get away with it. They think they can get away with it. And a lot of them do. A lot of people eat a whole bunch of crap all the time. They hold their tongue. They don't say nothing. They grin and they fake it. Those people have ulcers. The men are losing their hair, getting all pudgy in the stomach. The women are depressed. They drinking all day and night. Popping pills, uppers and downers with liquor with more liquor. It's just because people are unhappy. But for the very lucky, you can tell which way the wind is blowing. And you know that now the iron is getting hot and it's time to strike. And that's what the situation was for me with coronavirus. It was time for me to make my move. It was time for me to make my move. And so that is what I did. And it has been so lucky for me. And now, because I made the decision, and I didn't wait for nobody else to make a decision, and I didn't try to tough it out or none of that kind of mess, I'm not bitter. I don't feel no way. I pulled the trigger. Because I didn't consider them at all. I only considered what's good for me. And I learned that from some young people that I know who are the most stringent people on self-preservation that I have ever met. Okay? And let me tell you something. Miss Lady, I'm here to learn. You hear me? I see which way it's rolling, and I makes the changes. Ow! I'm not stubborn. I see that I need to make a change. I makes that change. You hear me? I makes that change. I'm not stubborn about it. I'm not hard-headed. Show late. Honey. Be like, the universe be like, Kalitha. Ooh, this here is happening. Ooh, you need to look into this. Ooh, go check this out. Ooh. And I'll be like, okay, let me go on and handle it. All right. Let me go ahead on and handle this thing. You heard me? And that's what I do. And I'm so glad that I do just that, because it empowers me to be able to do some things in my life and I don't get caught unawares. Do you hear me? Like my friend said, who I think he is just so hot. And if he sees this video, you know I'm talking about you. He is my friend and he is so good. And he always says, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And he got the same background as me. He's got the same background as me. But he's still dealing with his mom. I'm not. Done and done, honey. Done and done. I'm tired of the manipulation. I'm tired of the BS. I'm tired of all of that. I'm not doing it. Okay. So anyway, he called his mom on Mother's Day. I got a house and I have my own company. Blah, 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 blah. Please love me more than you love this cult people. Please accept me and accept my life. I'm a good person. And his own mother is like, not unless you join the cult. And it hurts his feelings. He's such a good person. He really is. He's going to be all right. He's got good people in his life now. And he's my age, but men tend to be a little bit slow. So he'll get it. But once he has it, nobody will be able to take it away from him. That's what I say about everybody with life lessons. You gonna learn. And when you do learn, can't nobody take that knowledge from you. I'm gonna go in here. Can you see where I'm going? The reflection. Ow. That means ain't none of your business. I ain't telling you. All right then. I gotta go. Talk to y'all later. Bye.